This conference will now be recorded.
Now, so in the previous session, we have discussed about Lightning Data Services, and we have discussed what exactly the Lightning Data Service and what is the use, and how can we interact with our Salesforce objects through Lightning Data Services. We have discussed in the previous session, and as part of this LDS, whenever if you want to interact with that Salesforce objects without writing any controller classes, we have two ways. First one, farm based. Second one, programming based. That means two programming also we can interact. Now, as part of this farm based, we are designing our own records information. We are representing the records information by using the various ready-made Lightning web components like as a record form, record view form, and the record edit form. In the previous session, we have discussed record form, and then today we'll see the record view form and the record edit form also. Then how can we do that? We'll see practically. Basically, the record form is used to represent the record details in the form of editable format so that we can create and we can edit the record also, depends upon the mode. So in order to create a new record into your object and in order to modify the existing records, we are using the help of record form. So upon representing the records inside the user interface, we no need to design this user interface manually by our own. So whenever I'm passing the record ID, based on that ID, it will fetch that record information over here, and then we can able to enter some more details in order to update those records as well. Just we have to pass a record ID. So then it will go to the current page layout inside for your object. Based on the object API name and the based on the record ID, it will go to that respective object. For that object, whatever the default page layout has been assigned, so based on that page layout, it will collect that fields and those fields will be visible to you on the screen by default. So that in order to create some new records or in order to update that record, so we are using the help of record form. Now, sometimes you can raise a question, sir, just I want to see the records. So now we can pass the record also, and then we can specify the mode. Depends upon your requirement. We can pass either is it in the edit mode or view mode or read only. If I'm passing read only, just we can able to see that field values. That's it. The record data we can see, but we can't edit. We can't create some more new. Now, so in this case here, so now today we'll see the remaining two features also, like as a record view form and then record edit form also. Then how can we use this record view form in order to see the records? Now let's see practically in this case. So what exactly the record view form and what is the use? Now let's see practically. Now, basically, record view form is used to record view form is used to just to view the records over here. In order to represent the records, that means we can fetch the record details from the object and then we can represent on the user interface. We can represent on the page and then that should be visible in the form of read-only format. Whatever the record values are available, those record values will be visible to you in the form of read-only format, which cannot be editable. Now, so which can't be editable, simply it will represent the records. So in order to display the record values based on the record ID, we are using the help of record view form. Now, so now upon representing the record on the user interface, whatever the fields are available inside that record, that field labels it will collect automatically, it will be representing on the user interface. It will represent the field labels automatically on the screen. That facility is available as part of this record view form. So in order to represent only the record view form, in order to see the existing record details, we are using the help of this record view form over here. Now, let's see how can we represent the record data over here. Now, let's see. Let me give you that record view form. That is Lightning record view form. Now, let's see. Basically, record view form is used to represent the existing record data. That means I want to show the record data in the form of a form. That means I want to design a form on which I would like to represent the existing record information. Upon representing the record, all the fields will be getting visible, or else we can define whatever the fields that you want. Based on your requirement, we can specify the fields which should be visible on the user interface, but the field values will be always read only. We can't edit that field values by using this record view form over here. By using record form, we can modify that values also. And then record edit form to modify the record values. But the record view form is only to view the record. Just to view the record, we are using this. Now, the record edit form is for what? Only to edit the record. Okay, only to edit the record, we are using record edit form. But record form will be for all. That means we can view, we can modify, we can create also. All these three we can do. Now, that facility is available over here. So now in this case here, now basically the record view form is used to design a form, design a user interface, and design a component on which we can represent a record value. In order to represent the record values, we are using the help of this record view form. Now, upon representing the record fields, it will represent that fields along with that field labels automatically. It will go to the object, it will collect that field values. And then, along with that, whatever the record values are available, those values will be getting visible to you in the form of read-only format, which cannot be editable over here. Now, so now the record values cannot be editable, simply it will be representing in the form of editor read-only format. That is the functionality over here. Now, so in this case here, let's see. Now let's see in this case. How can we do that? Let me explain. Record view form component is used to design a form or page to be used to represent an existing recorded data. An existing recorded data in the application. Now, record view form will represent the fields on the user interface along with the field labels. Along with the field labels. Now, it will represent the record data, that means record values, in read-only format. In read-only format, which can't be editable. Which can't be editable. So we have to specify the fields. We have to specify the fields to be visible, okay, to be visible, okay, on the form or layout. Okay, now. So now in this case here. So now here you can raise a question. Sir, as part of this record form, I did not specify any fields. I did not specify any fields. But here there is a property called as layout type. Is it full or is it compact? Now, depends upon the layout type which you have specified, it is collecting the fields from the object it will represent. If I'm indicating full, then on that record page layout, whatever the fields are available, everything will be getting visible over here. If I'm indicating compact, then whatever the compact layout fields are available. Compact layout fields means what? Let me show you. For example, let me log in into my Salesforce arc. Whenever we are opening this record here, any of the record in our Salesforce arc, any object record also, whatever it may be. Let me go to my Salesforce arc, any one of this application. Now, when you go to this record here, account record, I'm opening an account record, Burlington Textile Corporation of America. Now, this is called as compact layout. So this is called as compact layout fields. This is called as compact layout. So now the second one, detail. So now this is nothing but the actual page layout over here. This is nothing but the actual page layout. So now in that page layout, whatever the fields are available, those fields will be getting visible over here. Now this is the page layout. This is the compact layout here. So whenever we are creating a record, okay, by using this record form, okay, in the previous component, if I'm indicating layout type equals to full, then automatically in this page layout, whatever the fields are available, everything will be getting visible to you over here. Suppose if I'm indicating like as compact, okay, layout type equals to compact, then it will represent in this compact layout, whatever the fields are available, those fields will be visible over here. That's it. So only the compact layout fields will be getting visible to you on that form. So now here in this case, when coming to the record view form, here we don't have any such kind of layout type property. So we can't specify any full, we can't specify compact. So what fields you want to represent, we have to indicate that. We have to design those fields according to your requirement over here by using lightning output field tag. With the help of lightning output field tag, we have to specify that. So whenever we are using this record view form, then we have to specify the record ID and the object name also. Now, make a note here. We have to specify or while representing the record. While representing the record, we have to specify the record ID and object API name. We have to specify the record ID and the object API name in order to load the record here. To load the record details. In order to load the record details, okay, we require this. Now, so generally, if you want to fetch the record data, then we are using some SQL queries and we have to use some Apex classes. But here doesn't require any Apex class. That already I told you, because basically the LDS has been designed to avoid that Apex programming. So now here in this case, so whenever we are going to be representing the record data by collecting it from the object, then we no need to pass any, we no need to create any Apex classes, we no need to write any controller classes, we no need to write any SQL queries. Directly, we can able to fetch those record values also. So whatever the record is getting visible, okay, so now in this case, the record will be getting visible in read-only format, which can be editable over here. So now in this case, how can we represent the fields of my record? Okay, now let's see practically here. In order to represent that fields, we have to use lightning output field component. Now, so now here in this case, we don't have the fields attributes, fields property. Hence, we have to represent the fields. We have to represent the fields on the layout manually by using lightning output field component. Now, we have to represent that fields on the layout by using lightning output field component. In this case, whenever if you want to represent that fields, we have to use okay lightning output field. Because suppose for example, whenever if you want to represent the field in the form of read-only format, we have to use okay output field here. Even though when you go to your Visual Force, also similar fashion, we have the tag like as Apex input field, and then we are using that value equals to, we are specifying the class name dot account dot name, like the similar way, which will display this field in the form of editable format. If you want to represent in okay detail format, that means here out in the form of like as read only, we have to specify output. That's it. Like the similar way here, we are using lightning output field, and then we have to specify the property over here. That means field name. So now which field value you would like to represent, we have to indicate that here. Now, now let's see. How can we represent the recorded data over here? Now let me explain. I want to represent the recorded data, okay, in the form of okay read-only format over here. How to do that? Okay, now let me show you practically in this case. Now, I would like to have a small component over here. By using this component, I would like to represent the detailed information of my record here. How to represent? Okay, now let's see practically in this case. Now, so now whenever we are going to be using this okay lightning record view form, then what are the various properties are available? Now let's see the properties first. Properties. The first property is record ID property, which is used to specify record ID which should get represent on the form. Second one, object API name. Now to specify name of the Salesforce object. Salesforce object whose record has to be get fetch from database. These are the two properties. Now let me show you how can we use this record view form in order to represent the record details here. Let me design a component. So let me design a component in order to represent the record details over here. I would like to use a record view form, and by using this record view form, I would like to represent the record details over here. Whenever if you want to represent the record details, first of all, we have to collect that record ID, right? Yes. Now, so that let me design this. How can we represent? Let me create a new component here. Create a Lightning Web component. Show account record component. I'm indicating this show account record component. I'm using the default directory. So now let's see. First of all, I would like to define the two properties over here, object API name and the second one, and then record ID. So now I'm defining this at the rate record ID, which is API at the rate API at the rate API record ID at the rate API object API name object API. These are the two JavaScript properties which I have defined, which will be collecting the current record ID and the current object name automatically. So here I'm using this at the rate API decorator so that we have to import that at the rate API also, okay, by using this import statement. So now here I'm using this API decorator as well over here. Now, so now here I'm indicating this Lightning element and API decorator. That's it. So now here in this case, okay, I'm going to be using this, okay, two properties over here. The first property is, okay, the first property is record ID. Second one, record API, object API. I'm collecting the current record ID and I'm storing inside this property that is record ID. To collect that current object name, I'm using this property object API name and I'm representing this object name inside it. Now my component JavaScript file is ready. So it will collect that current record ID and the current object name also here both. Now, next one. Let me go to my HTML. Here I would like to represent the recorded details over here. Whenever if you want to represent the recorded details, how can we represent? Okay, now let's see practically in this case. So now I would like to use a component called as the record view form component. So let me go with that. So I'm using this lightning card. I'm giving the title equals to account details, and the icon name standard account. Now I'm using this lightning card. Inside this lightning card, I would like to use lightning record view form. Lightning record view form. Okay, lightning record view form. Here we have to specify the two properties here. What is the record ID which you would like to represent? Record ID equals to, I'm indicating this record ID property. Second one, object API name. I would like to specify that property name here. So now this is a JavaScript property, object API name. Now we have specified. Next, specify the fields over here. What fields you would like to represent on this one? Okay, we have to indicate. What fields you would like to represent, we have to specify those fields information. Then how to specify that fields information? Now let's see practically. Now here I'm indicating lightning output field. Lightning output field, I'm indicating the field name. Which field you would like to represent? You can specify the field name. I'm indicating name. I'm indicating name. So I want to show the name field over here. Okay, I want to show the name field. So it depends upon your requirement. We can specify the fields. Whatever the fields you want to represent, we can specify the fields information by using lightning output field tag. Lightning output field. We can specify the field name equals to rating field. I would like to represent the rating field value. Now, lightning output field name equals to, I'm indicating industry. Now, like the similar, I'm representing the fields. Now I would like to specify the industry, annual revenue, type, ownership, phone, fax. I'm indicating billing city, billing state. Let me save this. These are the fields information which I would like to represent over here. Now, I want to show these fields, okay, on my detail layout. That means here on the record view form. So record view form is used to represent only the record details. That's it. Okay, only the record details here. But we can't modify it. The values will be purely in the read-only state. Just it will show the record information which cannot be editable. We can't modify. You won't get any edit option also for this record. Now let's see here. So I'm going to be representing the fields like as name and the rating, industry, annual revenue, type, ownership, phone, fax, like that. Depends upon your requirement. We can able to specify as well. Now, so now here I'm indicating this. I want to show the website field also. I would like to specify the website field over here. Now, let me say, I'm pushing this component into my Scratch arc. Now done. So now the JavaScript component code is also ready. And then here I'm going to be designing my form also. Now let's go to the metadata XML and then make that. So now this particular file should be get this component can be visible on your record farm also. So that I'm indicating is exposed equals to true. I'm indicating targets. So here I would like to specify the target property, okay, lightning record page. I would like to make this component can be visible in the record page as well, so that I can see the record information. Now, let me place this component over here. Now, let me go to my Scratch arc, open default arc. So it is representing, it is opening my Salesforce arc where exactly I can able to see all these components. Let me go to my application sales. Now go to the account, open any of the account record information over here. These are the details of this account record. So this is one component we have indicated in the previous session, current record details to get that object record name and the record API, object API name also. And this is the record form which we have indicated over here so that we can able to see the record details and then we can modify that also, because edit form is used to, the record form is used to, we can view the record also, we can able to modify the record details also, we can create some new record as well. But now here I would like to place one more component over here. Okay, now here I would like to add one more tab. I would like to add one more component over here. Our component just now which we have designed to see the recorded details over here. Now, click on this edit page. Now, here I'm adding a tab over here. In this component, I'm adding a tab over here. Let's see. Now, add a new tab, add a tab. I'm giving this tab name as, by default, it is giving the tab name as the details. Now, I don't want to show this name as details. I would like to give my own custom name. Select the option custom, specify the name here. I would like to indicate. So now, view form, account view. Okay, account view. Now specify. I'm adding a tab over here. This is the account view tab. In this tab, I'm placing my component just now, which we have designed. Now my component name is what? So now show account record component. Okay, show account record component. So what is the component name? Show account record component. That's it. Show account record component, which I'm going to placing it over here. Now I'm placing the component. Now let's save this. Activate. I want to make it visible to the sales application by default. Now let's save it. Go back to a record page. Now let's see. So now I can see my record information here. This is the previous component which we have designed to get the record ID and the object API name. Based on that, we can represent the record details by using this record form, which will be visible in the form of editable format also, so that we can make the changes of our record values also. Rating value I'm changing from warm to hot. Now we can update the record values also. So record has been updated successfully. Now, so now when you go to this account view, okay, now here we can see only the record details. That's it. Only the record data we can represent. We can't modify. The field labels are automatically populated over here. It is populating the record values, but it won't allow you to edit the record here. That is the functionality of record view form. Record view form only to view the record. That's it. No edit, no creation, nothing. Straightforward option. Okay, straightforward. Record view form is only to view the record. Record edit form is used to only to edit the record. Record form is used to view and to modify, to create three. All these three we can do. That's what we have a feature called as a mode. Mode equals to create or edit or view. Okay, we'll be having that option. Now, so now here this record view form is used to only to view the recorded details, which cannot be editable over here. That is the functionality. This is the concept of record view form, which is used to represent the recorded details on your user interface. Now, next one. The next component, okay, let me go with that lightning edit form over here. How can we represent the record in editable format over there? So now as part of this lightning edit form, then what we can do, okay, now let me explain that. So before that, let me place this code. So design a lightning component, or simply we can specify lightning web component to represent the recorded details. Now, HTML file and the JavaScript file, and then metadata file. Let me copy this JavaScript file. Now, this is the way. Next, lightning edit form, the third one. Okay, lightning record edit form. So now let's see what exactly lightning edit form and what is the use. We can now let's see practically over here. Basically, lightning edit form is used to design a user interface, okay, which is used to, okay, create a new record into your organization. That means into your object, or in order to update the fields inside your object also. Whenever if you want to create a new record, so now to add a Salesforce record or to update that field values, that means whatever the existing records are available, so now those record values we can able to modify depends upon your business requirement. That facility is available over here. Now, so in this case here, how can we do that here? Now let's see. So how can we represent that here? So now whenever we are going to be using this record edit form, then what it will do is whatever the record ID that you have binded, okay, whatever the record ID that you have binded, so now that record will be visible to you in the form of always in editable format. Editable format means what? Like this. See, this is view form. That means just you can read only format. See, this is just you can see the details. When you click on this here, see, this is the editable format here. All the fields are visible in editable format over here. All the fields are visible in editable format over here. Now, so now the fields will be visible to you in the editable format depends upon your requirement over here that we can specify. So now in this case here, to represent these fields in editable format, we are going to be using input field tag. That means lightning input field. So now here as part of record view form, we are using, okay, lightning output field. Here we have to use input field because we are going to be passing some values to update the record also. We can create some new record also. If you want to create a new record, just don't pass any record ID. If I'm not passing any record ID, fields will be visible to you in the editable format. So we can create it. We can create a new record. Suppose if I'm passing record ID, that record details will be getting visible to you on the, okay, fields so that we can able to update that record values also. That facility will be available. So in this case, record edit form is used to create some new records and to modify the existing record values also based on the record ID. So now we can supply some new values also. In order to represent the field values, we have to use that input field tag inside this edit form component. Then how can we do that? Okay, now let's see practically in this case. So we have to specify the object name over here. Now let's see. Now, so let's see in this case what we can do. What are the various properties are available? Now let's see. This component is used to create new records and edit existing records inside the object. Inside the object. While representing the records or while updating the records, we have to pass the record ID. We have to pass the record ID. Now, it doesn't require any Apex classes to insert or update the record inside the object. Once the record has been inserted or updated, then we can show the custom toast messages. Based on the need. Okay, based on the need, we can able to do that. That facility will be available to you over here. Now, in this case, whenever I'm passing the record ID here, okay, now, always the record details will be visible in editable format. Now, we have to represent the fields on the form by using lightning input field component. We have to represent the fields on the form by using lightning input field component. There we have used lightning output field. Here we have to use lightning input field here. So which will be representing that field in the form of editable format, which is used to enter some data to create or to modify the existing record values also. Now, the fields will be getting visible in a single column over here, one by one. If you want to arrange them in multiple columns, then we can use that other components. Like as we have to use lightning layout. By using lightning layout, we can able to arrange the fields in the multiple columns also. That facility will be available. Now, let's see. So what are the various properties are available for this? Okay, now let's see practically in this case. Now, as proper part of these properties, first one will be record ID property over here. So now we can specify properties. First one, record ID. To specify the record ID to be get updated. Second one, object API name. To specify the object name in which the record should create or update. Next, third property over here. So now we can able to specify that layout type. Layout type equals to, we can specify either compact or full. Okay, compact or full. Whenever if you want to represent that, we can able to represent the fields also. Layout type equals to compact or full. Now in this case, so now whenever if you want to represent some specific fields over here, then we can able to indicate that, okay, specific fields information by using field names. The fourth property, field names. To specify the list of field names to be get visible on the form. What fields to be get visible on the form that we can indicate over here. For that one, we are using this field names property over here. And then along with that, we'll be having some more properties are available if you want to do some operations. Like for example, once a record has been getting inserted successfully or updated successfully, if you want to do some actions, then we can able to use some more properties also. That means we can invoke some actions also over here. Depends upon your requirement, we can able to specify those actions as well. Like we have to specify that action like okay, on success, on error, on submit, that we can able to use those things as well based on your application requirement here. In order to show some toast messages, we can able to use that facility will be available to you. Like the fifth property, and success. We can specify the method. To specify the method. On error. To specify the method. On submit. We can specify the method. So which method you would like to call? Okay, once a record has been submitted, once a record has been successfully processed, once a record has been failed. So that we can able to specify that. Whenever if you want to create a record, then we have to place one button control also to submit the recorded details over here. Now, note, while creating a record, while creating a new record, we have to place submit button to insert the record in the object. Now let's see how can we do that. Okay, now let me show you practically in this case. So now how can we use this record, okay, edit form in order to represent the record in editable format, and then how can we okay modify the record values, and then once the record has been updated successfully, how can we show some post messages also. We'll see that practical concept as well. Now let's see. I want to use that record edit form in order to represent the record in editable format over here. Now let me take a small use case. Design a Lightning Web Component to represent the record detailed information on the form based on the record ID and update the record, update the record, and update the record with new values, with new values. Then I would like to update the record values also. Then how can we do that? Now let's see. Now, so now let me design a component over here. I'm closing this component tags. Let me create one more new component. Control Shift P. Create a Lightning Web component. Edit account record component. Use the default directory. So now here I would like to edit this existing record over here. Now I would like to collect that record ID. So I would like to collect the current record ID here. So that I'm indicating @API record ID. @API object API name. So I'm using this API decorator so that here I'm using this API. Now done. So now till this part I'm done with this. I'm collecting the current record ID and then I'm specifying the object name also over here. I'm collecting the current record ID value and the current record object API name as well. I'm collecting these details. Now, so once it is available, now let me go to my HTML component to design that form. I'm using this Lightning record edit form. Okay, Lightning record edit form. Here I'm using the properties over here. Record ID equals to, we can specify the record ID. I'm indicating this property. Object API name. I'm indicating this object API name over here. Object API name. And then I want to place that record details over here. For that one, I would like to specify that Lightning card control. And then Lightning card, inside that Lightning card, I would like to place this component so that here I'm using this Lightning card. Lightning card. I'm indicating title equals to account edit. I'm indicating icon name equals to standard account. Now, let's see. Here I would like to represent the fields. How to place those fields? Now let's see. Lightning input field name equals to, I would like to specify name field. And then Lightning input field name equals to title. I'm placing these fields. Now, I'm placing this name field, rating field, industry field, annual revenue field, type field, ownership, phone, fax, website, and then I would like to specify that field that is called as, I would like to indicate the billing city, billing state, sorry, billing state, billing country, billing country. These are the fields which I would like to represent here. So always this record edit form will represent the record details of the fields in the form of editable format always. Okay, it will represent the fields in the form of editable format. Now, so once it is done, then if you want to, okay, if you want to perform some action, that means here after entering some data, if you want to update that record values back to the database, then for that one, we have to place a button control. So I'm using a break tag. I'm giving one more break tag also, or else one break tag is sufficient. Let me place that button control. Lightning button. Now I would like to specify that label equals to update that record here. Update account. I'm indicating type equals to submit. Okay, type equals to submit, so that it will be internally. This is a submit type of button here, so which is going to be submitting the record back to the database automatically by default. So without using our own custom controllers, it will be using that, okay, standard business logic by default by Lightning component. So the Lightning data service will be interacting with that respective object, and then it will be submitting the record data. So the data will be getting updating back to that object over there. Now let me specify the variant also for this button control. I'm indicating the variant equals to brand. Now, so now in this case, once the record data has been getting submitted, okay, once the record data has been getting submitted, I want to perform some action. I want to show some toast message here, so that I'm indicating that I'm success. Okay, I would like to specify that. And success equals to, I would like to indicate the method handle success. I'm preparing a method. Handle success. I'm going to be writing this business logic over here. So what I want to do, I would like to show a toast message over here. So that here, that means once the record has been updated successfully, I would like to show a toast message. So that I'm indicating this, import this show toast event, import show toast event from Lightning platform show toast event. Here I would like to indicate constant success toast equals to new show toast event. I would like to specify the title. The title will be success. message I would like to indicate a record updated successfully. I'm indicating variant. Variant equals to success, and the mode equals to dismissible. Dismissible. So now here I'm going to be indicating these properties for this show toast, and then we have to invoke this. This dot dispatch event. Here we can able to specify success toast. That's it. So now here I'm pushing this data to my Scratch arc in order to show the success message. Once a record has been updated successfully, so after click on this button control, okay, update account. So once the record is updated successfully, then immediately I would like to show the message. That means once the operation is success, then I'm indicating this, okay, the message record updated successfully. Now, let me go with that metadata XML file, and then I would like to make this record to be visible inside my record page so that is exposed equals to true and specify the targets. I'm adding a target that should be visible in the record page. Let me save this. That means this component can be visible on the record detail page as well. Now, let me save this. Now I would like to place this component on my Scratch arc. Let's see. So now let me go back to this one. Here I would like to place one more tab also. Okay, record account edit. There I would like to show you. Now, click on this edit page. Let me add one more tab over here. Add new tab. Change this name. I don't want to show this one like as details. I would like to show my own name here. Account edit. That means account update, for example. Account update. Done. A new tab has been added over here. Click on this tab. Now place your component. Go to the custom component, whatever we have prepared. I'm indicating that. So now, what is that component name that we have indicated? Edit account record component. This is the component name. I'm placing this component here. So now let's save this. Now let's go back. So this is the record that we have. When you go to this record detail page, so let's see. This is the actual record form. Okay, this is the record form which will be representing the recorded details. Until or unless once you click on this edit button, now the record will not be going to the editable format. This is one thing. When you go to the record view form, it will display only in the read-only format. This is the functionality. When you go to the account update, that means record edit format. See, by default, record is in editable format over here. See, it is in the editable format over here. Just you can able to select the record values, you can able to update it. Industry, okay, biotechnology to I'm changing it to banking. I'm giving the annual revenue value as some 25 lakhs. Now, once you have specified this value, so billing state I'm indicating like as some Karnataka. Yeah. Now here I can control, click on update account. The record has been updated successfully over here. Now, let's see. Go to that, okay, detail. Here we can able to see the latest data over here. Now industry has been updated, and then rating value also. And then we have changed that industry from biotechnology to the banking. And then we have indicated that Billing state Karnataka, billing country India, we have changed these values also, and annual revenue value have given some 25 lakhs. The record has been available with these values. Suppose, for example, I'm going to the account update here. See, the record is in editable format by default over here. Here it is in read-only format. Here this is in the normal format over here by default. Upon loading the component, the record will be getting visible as it is in the normal view format. If you want to modify it, then just you can click on. Then only it will come to the editable format over here. That is the functionality of record view, record form. Record view form will represent only in editable format. There is no chance to modify. But here there is a possibility here. We can update that because it is always representing the fields in editable format by default. These are the three components are available as part of LDS in order to create, in order to modify, okay, in order to view the records. Now, let me place this component code. HTML code and then JavaScript code. Metadata. See, without writing any SQL query, without using any DML statements, without using any Apex classes, we are able to interact with these Salesforce objects. That is a specialty of LDS. So that we can avoid the server calls. It will do asynchronously. It will do asynchronous operations. Internally, automatically by default, it will do that. That is the functionality of LDS. So that they keep on trying to reducing the code. But there we need to write our own code, okay? But here instead of writing that code, we are going to be using JavaScript. There is no server-side controller, nothing. Only client side here. Through client side, we are able to do everything so that we can improve the application performance. That's what we are using LDS features. This is the way we can able to implement the functionality by using this, okay, LDS, which is form based, okay. So now we can represent the record details over here, and then we can able to create some records. We are able to view the records. We are able to edit the records also over here. That facility is available. Now, how can we do that? Through programmatically? How can we do that? Through programmatically. That means I would like to use the UI API. That means user interface API. So with the help of this user interface API, how can we do that? How to implement that functionality? Now let's see. Because that already I told you. Okay, because that already I told you, whenever we are going to be using this lightning design, lightning data services, in order to interact with your Salesforce objects, we have two ways are available. Like the first one, we are having the okay farm based with the help of this okay farms also. That means user interface components also we can able to create, we can able to modify, we can able to okay view the records information. The second one, we can go with the help of programming based as well. Through programming also we can able to do that. That means how? By using ready-made method. Here I'm not preparing my own method here. Salesforce has given some ready-made methods to you in order to get the records, to create some new records, to modify the records, to delete the records. Salesforce has given some ready-made methods to you. Directly we can call them. Okay, directly we can call them in order to perform that okay DML operations on your object records okay through Lightning Data Services. So with the help of this Lightning data services, we can able to interact with your object through programmatically as well. So now then, how can we do that here as part of this? Now let's see. Now, so now in this case, LDS with user interface API, user interface API. Now, so now in this case here, so as part of this Salesforce has given a feature over here. Salesforce has given an API called as UI record API. With the help of this UI record API, we can able to interact with your Salesforce objects, and then we can able to perform your own operations through programming. UI record API means what? We can interact with your Salesforce object records by using user interface API. UI means user interface. With the help of this user interface API, we can able to interact with your Salesforce objects, and then we can able to perform all the DML operations on your object records. Now, let me go to the note point here. LDS internally uses the UI record API to interact with the Salesforce objects to perform the DML operations. Now, UI record API provides a set of ready-made methods to be invocable from the Lightning Web Component through programming from JavaScript. Here also I'm not using Apex programming. Here we are going to be using these ready-made methods. So now these ready-made methods I would like to call from JavaScript over here. From JavaScript I would like to call these methods over here. Now, so now here in this case here, LDS provides the below 4 methods to perform the DML operations on the records through JavaScript. Now, first one, get a records method, that is get record. Second one, create record method over here. We have this create record method. Third one, update record method. Fourth one, delete record method. So these are the 4 methods. Get record, create record, update record, and the delete record. So whenever we are going to be using this any one of this method, in order to perform some DML operations on your Salesforce object record, first of all we have to import that method into your JavaScript code. Now, so now here in this case, as a step 1, first of all, we have to import this particular method, inside your JavaScript by using that, import statement. Now in this case, note, while using these UI user interface API methods, or we using these methods simply, we have to import this method from UI record API as below. Because we know, even though if I'm using some custom methods also, which we have defined inside my Apex class, then what we are doing, we are using import statement. We are using import statement over here. Like what we did, for example, I have an Apex class here. Like for example, I'm having an Apex class, public class some accounts helper. In my class, I have a method like some public list of account. I'm indicating this is static method. Get all accounts. So here I have written some business logic, whatever the business logic. Now this method can be invocable from your Lightning Web Component, so that I'm using @ara enabled. So now cacheable equals to true. Now if you want to invoke this method, what needs to be done? First of all, we have to import this method into your JavaScript, right? How we need to do that? We have to specify import get all accounts. Get all accounts from, we have to specify Salesforce / Apex / we have to specify your class name. That means accounts helper dot that particular method name over here. Get all accounts. This is the method. Like the similar way, if you want to use this method, these methods are available where inside a API called as UI record API. UI record API. So that we have to import this one. How to import this one? We have to specify that. Let me give you the syntax. So now import, specify the method name from, we have to specify Lightning, we have to specify UI record API. That's it. Suppose if you want to use that get record method, we have to specify. Now import, we have to specify the get record from Lightning UI record API. Suppose if you want to use that, create record method, then we have to specify import create record method from Lightning UI record API. Like that, here we have to import. So depends upon your requirement, we have to get that methods also here. So now and then we can able to call those methods directly in order to insert, in order to update, in order to delete, in order to get the records. We have to use it. Then how to use these programming related methods, we'll see in tomorrow's session. And then tomorrow we'll be discussing about how to prepare test classes. Testing process here by using a tool called as Just. Just is a tool, which is specially designed by Salesforce people to prepare the test classes and for the Lightning Web Components especially. In order to test your Lightning Web Components and to prepare that, test classes for your JavaScript, we are using this Just tool. Then how to use that, we'll see, so that with this one we can close it off. Now, so do the practice on this one. We'll see that how to do the deployments of these components also into our organization. We'll see that. As of now, already we are pushing into our Scratch arc. From there one, we can able to push into our Dev Hub. I will show you practically also how to push into the Dev Hub. I will show you that. By using deployment feature. That is also command prompt by using VS Code. There is no concept of chain sets over here. We have to go with that VS Code itself over. Now, how to use this one, we'll see practically in tomorrow's session. Thank you.